We're talking strategies today, and we're talking specifically news halts, guys. One of those types of trades that can happen out of nowhere when no one expects it, but can produce some of the best opportunities you may get in a trading session. So as an active short-term trader, we have to be prepared to take advantage of breaking news, guys. Great example to talk about this today with Peloton saying, hey, guess what? We're not going to make bikes anymore? Wait, isn't that what they do?
Yeah, look, obviously some clarification on the headline, temporarily halting production, but the move was nothing, there was nothing temporary. Well, I mean, it was somewhat temporary, but it was a quick move to the downside. And look, if you catch this, I mean, the algos are going to be all over it at the initial beginning. But what you're going to see here, and I have a minute chart up almost on purpose because sometimes you can miss halt trades if you put it on like a 10-minute, you might not see. There are limit up-down rules and halt bands on a stock, right? So they take these 10% moves in too quick of a fashion, and then basically what is going to happen is once it has gotten to that halt band, you are going to see it go into a 15-second halt state. And what that means in practical terms is if it's a downward move, the stock cannot trade below that price. So imagine it was 25, 62, or 61, which I have on the level 2 here. Then the bid would essentially be stuck at that level. The offer would be piling up with people who want to sell shares, but they cannot sell it any lower than the current price. So in that 15 seconds, it can only go up. The offer can be printed. It can bounce back higher, but because it's a limit down trade, it can only trade up or at the offer. It cannot go through the bid. At the end of 15 seconds, if it has not moved, it goes into a halt state. Those halts are 5 minutes or they are 10 minutes long. Every once in a while, they're a little bit longer, Funware, a little bit longer than that, but then they open up just like a regular auction would at the open or at the close. So you're able to use limit orders, market orders to get in and to get out. The idea being there's a lack of liquidity. Let's pause, let's calm down, let's reopen, and then maybe there'll be more liquidity. In this particular case, on news like that with Peloton, it took several halts before you see things calm down enough that it's trading continuously, only a couple of hours after the news gets disseminated. But the key thing is, once you trigger into that halt state, it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes. You use those regular orders that you would use for market on open or market on close to get into or get it out of position. And they can be very lucrative trading around it, as you would see with Peloton specifically.
You know what's helped me a lot, and yeah, great explanation of what exactly we're dealing with here. What's helped me a lot is we have this thing called TAP, theoretical auction price. So if your broker has that, try to have a quick look because it does allow me some ins and some outs, right? It gives us like a little bit of confidence on where we're going to go with it. And again, how I like to trade halts is pretty simple. Like we missed this whole Peloton move, and then all of a sudden the halt comes, and we get in and out there. So mind that one mark, but that's the first trade that we take was on the halt. And I just tend to, from experience, it doesn't happen all the time, but I would say it's like 90% of the time, the first halt, especially on news like this, just allows people to sort of, digest the information. It gets a lot of retailer traders in. Because remember, when news hits, algos generally will be the only people trading that first halt move because it happens too fast. They read the news wire and then bang, it happens. This is a 1 minute chart, right? So you see nothing but love to the downside here. It happens so fast. So sometimes you got to go over to the level 2 and say, oh my God, this is halting. And then just take the trade and ask questions later. So I think that's important. And don't forget, we did wind up going long here on that as well. So there are lots of possibilities that even in a bad situation, when you get halts here, then halts again, sometimes there is a relief rally because again, the news is still pretty new whenever something's halting, right? So everyone's got to sort of clean up their news feeds, try to understand what's going on. And a lot of the big brokerages, they'll go out and they'll find like, what kind of prices are we looking at now? Is there maybe a low that we can go back? And again, I'm going to call up on the chart, and I don't have it zoomed back as much, but I thought someone was talking, Neil.
If you go back far enough.
Yeah, it's not going to load up, but I don't know if you have it on your daily, probably not. But if you go back far enough, there is a 24 level here on Peloton. So what I'm trying to get at is, here, okay, now it's finally loading. I don't know if the 24 level is any good.
It is.
But it's right down there. There's 17, and then right in here, there's like a 26 kind of level that people were talking about, 24, 25. So when you look back, we have to go all the way back to March of 2020, which we know what that was. Peloton, obviously a pandemic play all the way to the upside. This was $170, guys, back a year ago. Like a year ago today, this is 170. Today you're down to 25, but sometimes those halt levels and going back will help you a bit. I don't know if it did here, but that's almost turns on a dime at 24. So there's Peloton. It's not a fun day to trade it if you're long, but if you're a halt guy and you like to put on some halt trades, Peloton was fantastic.
Yeah, huge move to the downside on breaking news. Guys, you got to be in front of your computer in order to take advantage of these types of moves. Have a plan. Understand that you're going to miss that initial move, but there are still opportunities to be had after that initial move happens. That's a little look at breaking news, guys.